Hello, everybody. Welcome to Townsend 505, or welcome back if you're a lovely viewer. Today, the under assistant West Coast man, promotion man, uh, Keith Richard says
Oh,
hi.
what me? Sorry, I was asleep there. While I was asleep, I got the idea for the best song ever, and just got to write it. It goes a little something like ba 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 da da ba da.
And Townsend 505, which I can't get no.
Hey, that's a good lyric. Maybe I should use that.
We're gonna be reviewing the Rolling Stones' fourth studio album, their fourth U.S. album, and that is Out of Our Heads. Uh, in the UK, it's their third album. Last episode, we reviewed a U.S. album exclusive. Uh, we really like that album. What do you guys? Well, first I'll ask you, Jacob. What's your thoughts on this album?
I really love this album. It's crazy that we are now 4 albums in, and I think I said this last week when we reviewed the last album, Rolling Stones Now, but each album there's been a significant growth in this band. Considering the first album was just like 11 out of 12 songs being covers and they were mediocre at best. And now we got an album where, yeah, there's still some covers on it, but you're starting to see what makes the Rolling Stones on this album. And that was actually very refreshing. And I think this is a fantastic album with some really great songs we'll be talking about tonight.
Yes. If you're not aware, Scott had a Rolling Stones Out of Our Heads review at one point, and
Oh
let's
boy.
let's just let's just say the people who he did the review with wasn't as fun as on this album as we're going to be.
Let's just say that video is about to fade into obscurity after we do this.
Yeah, it's gonna. It may or may not be
No, the
on.
first song on the Rolling Stones' first album, not fade away. The exact opposite.
Mhm. This one, I feel like it's going to be the definitive review. I feel confident in
Yeah.
that.
This album right here marks a significant growth for the Stones and really is a big key step in the evolution of their sound from England's greatest blues cover band to the Rolling Stones as we know them.
Yes, um, I agree. This is a big step in the right direction. I mean, I feel like 1965 was a big year for rock and roll as a whole. I mean, this was the year that the Beatles made Rubber Soul. This is the year that the Who made My Generation, and this is the year that they made this album, and just a great year in music. That's
Bob Dylan did Bringing It All Back Home,
Yeah, I know it's
Highway
crazy.
61.
hmm Just a great year for music. Uh, but yeah, let's start getting into the tracks. First song on the album is a cover, "Mercy Mercy."
All right. I guess I'll start. I thought this was a really strong opener. I don't know the original song. When I heard it, I thought it was a Stones original because of the sound of it, the way Mick Jagger sings, the way Keith Richards does the guitar. This could have been a big hit. I felt like if it was released as a single, but it's a really good song on its own. It's very singable. Have mercy, have mercy. Uh, I think there's other songs on this album that I think are better, but I thought this was a great start to a great album.
So, this is the first Rolling Stones album that's half covers and half originals. The good thing, though, is that I feel like the covers on this album are even better than some of the stuff they've been doing on the previous albums, and this is a very fine example of that. I really enjoy this song. I like the "Have Mercy," and I love the guitar. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, it's an amazing song. Definitely their best opener by far so far. Their openers are getting better and better. Such an amazing way to start off the album. It's so good. I heard the original before. It's okay. So it's like way better in my opinion than the original. Next song on the album is Hitchhike.
Mm. Yeah, I'm just gonna say this is one of the weaker songs on the album. This is another cover. They covered Marvin Gaye song, and I've actually heard the Marvin Gaye version, and even the Marvin Gaye version, I'm like, I would say the Marvin Gaye version's better, but it's definitely not one of his best songs. I think the song is a little corny, even in Stone standards, like hitchhike, hitchhike, I'm gonna hitchhike to find the dream girl. I think's the hook of the song. I don't know. This one, compared to the amazing songs we're gonna get to on this album, this one is definitely in the bottom of my list. And I think I'd compare this one to some of the weaker covers on some of the early albums, if I'm being honest.
So I think this song is good. It's not the best. Kind of in the similar vein of the first song, but not quite as good. I will say the thing I don't really like about this song is the background hitchhike, because that was originally done by like female backing vocals, and I don't think Keith Richards or Brian Jones or whoever's singing that is a particularly strong voice for doing that part. But I do actually kind of like this song though.
I think I might be the only one who really likes this song. This isn't one of my favorite songs on the album, but I actually really like this song. It's another amazing song on this off this album, but I can see where the criticisms are though. Next song on the album, "The Last Time."
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, this is a song I had heard before listening to the album, and I knew it was already a great song. But then listening to it for this review, I'm like, this is an amazing song. Uh, First off, that guitar riff, I think this is a Brian Jones riff, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, Brian Jones did this riff because I I struggle to remember which ones are Brian's and which ones are Keith Richards. I know the big one that's Keith Richards coming up, but so this was Brian Jones. He did a great riff on this one. Very catchy song. I love the chorus. This could be the last time. This could be the last time. And I love the harmonies that pop up going, this could be the last time. I don't know. It's definitely one of the more, I guess, earworm songs on the album. I think it's my favorite. I will say this is my favorite on side one. It's a
Definitely.
great single. I think this was one of their breakout hits, if I'm not mistaken, and definitely one that shaped the Stones going forward. This and this other song that we'll get to.
Yeah, this song is amazing. It is not weakly written. If any of you have seen my other video, I think it's great. I love the guitar riff, the and Charlie Watts keeps a real solid back rhythm for it. And like Jacob was saying, the chorus is just an earworm. This could be the last time. This could be the last time. Maybe the last time. I don't know. Whoa, whoa. And even the verse is catchy too. I told you once and I told you twice. It's a really good early Stones song. And I like the end where it just goes crazy and Mick Jagger is just go, oh no no no. No 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 no. No 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 no. No 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 no.
This is a really good guitar, but I'm just kidding.
But what?
I'm joking. It's from the old Rolling Stones review. It's like the guitar's great, but no, this is an amazing song. I love this song so much. Easily one of the best songs that they made so far. One of the best songs that they wrote up until this point. So good. Next song on the album, That's how strong my love is.
That's how strong my love is. That's how strong my love is.
Yeah, we're back to the covers on this one. Good famous version of this is by Otis Redding. And so, yeah, trying to compare Otis Redding and Mick Jagger, I mean, you can't compare them. They're two different vocalists who shine in their own right. I would say the Otis Redding version is better. And at first, I thought I was not going to like this rendition of it. I'm like, okay, is Mick Jagger good enough to do a song like this? And then you get to the, that's how strong my love is. Oh, that's how strong my love is. I'm like, okay, Mick Jagger can sing it well in his own right. And this is one of the better covers on the album. I thought this was a pretty awesome take on it.
Definitely one of the better covers. He has a really strong voice on this one. You can tell we all like it because we're all just going, that's how strong my love is. And that's definitely my favorite part of the song. That's another earworm as well. Lots of hooks on this album that stick with you, and this is one of them.
Mm-hmm. The Hollies did a version of this song, not nearly as good as this version. I don't think Alan Clark quite fits the role for that song like Mick Jagger did. This is amazing cover though. But if you want to hear my more in-depth thoughts on that review, we're eventually going to review all the Hollies albums, and
the first review I did on your channel was "Stay with the Hollies."
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to do another version of "Stay with the Hollies."
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
I might keep that one up just for just so I can rewatch it. Me or you could rewatch it, be like, yeah, we did that. But yeah, this is another fantastic song and great earworm. That's how strong my love is, baby. That's how strong my love is. Great stuff. Next song on the album, Good Times.
Sam Cooke cover.
This is the Sam Cooke cover. I love the Sam Cooke version of this song. Mick Jagger singing it, not near as much. I don't think this song suited Mick Jagger at all. I think it's one of the weakest songs on the album. And this just seemed like a filler song to me to get it up to 12 songs, which was what they were doing around this time. I like it a little better than Hitchhike, though, but that's not saying much.
Oh, man. I actually really like this song. Now, I do like the Sam Cooke version better. The Sam Cooke version is amazing. But I like this one, too. Maybe I just like it because it's a well-written song. But Mick Jagger does it some justice, I'll say. It's not as good as Sam Cooke's version, but I just like the whoa, oh, la la ta ta. Whoa, whoa, la la ta ta. It's straight from one of the songs on the album.
Yeah.
We're getting there, Jason.
With his seersucker suit and his toupee that everyone laughs at.
I asked Jason if he wanted to join us at the end of the stream, and he said sure. So
yes,
let's wait for the stream to be over. I wanted to talk about Fleetwood Mac to him because
yes, I want to talk with Jason about Fleetwood Mac, especially since he's heard their first 4 albums, and I need to see if he's heard Oh Well and Black Magic Woman, Albatross, and Green Man Alicia, the actual good stuff from Peter Green, the singles.
Well, I'll send the link for you, Jason, for when the stream's over. But yeah, we're not even halfway done yet. We're getting there. Yeah, I love this song though. I probably like this the most out of all 3 of us. I think Mick Jagger does a great job doing it. I think, of course, Sam Cooke does it better. He's the king of soul, in my opinion. I don't think anyone could replicate Sam Cooke as well as he does.
I just want to say, well, at least this song introduced me to Sam Cooke. I had never heard him before, and Jacob played the Sam Cooke of Good Times, and as soon as it started up, I thought, yeah, nope, this one's better.
Yeah.
I definitely need to check out more of him because, like, his Good Times is an amazing song.
Check out It's a Wonderful
I can check.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Wonderful World's a good one. Some other good ones, I would say You Send Me, Twisting the Night Away.
That's my favorite song.
I love that one.
Twisted
Also,
Night Away.
Bring It On Home to Me is one of my favorites. And
I prefer the
Church
Animals
on My Thumb.
version.
Hmm?
I prefer the Animals version of Bring It Back, Bring It On Home.
I might
Okay.
see if I can find like a Sam Cooke greatest hits record. Good way to
Yeah.
discover stuff from him.
Yeah, and then the one that has Twisted. I think it's the name of the album, Twisted the Night Away. That's a
Twisting the
great
Night
album.
Away is a great song.
Is that the one with the pink cover on it,
Yeah.
where he's like twisting on the front?
Twisted the Night Away. I believe so.
I'm gonna have to check that out because
love
I really
that song.
loved Good Times whenever we heard the Sam Cooke version.
Yeah, but that's my opinion on Good Times. I think Mick Jagger does an amazing job replicating it.
I still like it. I just like Sam's version better.
Yeah, I think we all do. Last song on side one is
Oh boy,
That's All Right.
Worst song on the album. That's all I'll say. Why I don't know why they put a live track on here. It does not fit this
it's
album.
the '60s.
We're getting there, Jason.
We're getting there.
It's the next song.
I thought the live cheers was obnoxious. I think if they, I bet if they did a studio version of this song, I think it would have been fine. But between the obnoxious, loud cheers and then the constant repeated, all right, all right,
Yeah. All right,
all right,
all right,
all right,
Only at the
all
end.
right,
yeah.
all right.
But still,
it got old.
it did. Still not as annoying as "Did You Steal My Money" though.
That's the worst.
Did you
They're
steal
my
my money?
all-time favorite. They're my all-time favorite band, and I can admit when there's trash,
Garbage,
garbage. Yes.
garbage. Thankfully, there's no garbage on this album, even though this live song is about as close as it gets.
It teeters the line to garbage. It's
I'm the
not-
only one who really likes this track. I actually really love this track. I love the energy. They do 2 live cuts on the next album, which those 2 tracks, in my opinion, aren't nearly as good as this track. I honestly really like this track. I love the energy. I just love the energy. That's
I'll
Well,
give it
yes.
one thing: Brian Jammin' Jones on the guitar.
Yeah,
That I'll give it that. But
yeah.
the
yeah,
obnoxious,
their guitar work is pretty good.
like, oh my gosh, it's the Rolling Stones with the all right, yeah, that mixed with
That's how
all
it
right,
sounded like.
all right,
Doesn't
all
do it-
right.
he only does that like the last 10 seconds on this, like 5 seconds, if anything. He doesn't do it that much. It's like
Well,
I
that with
don't
the
know.
screaming is just.
the screaming I get. Actually, the screaming I tune out. Like I don't know. I'm the
It's,
only one who. I'm
I
the only
get
one who-
why they put it on the album because in the '60s it was like, oh, do you want to hear what it's like to be at a Rolling Stones concert? Well, here, and you can go see the Rolling Stones live too. But nowadays, if I'm gonna go see the Rolling Stones on the Hackney Diamonds tour, A, it's gonna cost me $250 to sit in the very back, and B, they're all gonna be throwing their hips out on stage at 80 years old.
I personally really like this track, but I get where the criticisms are. Side 2 opens up with I Can't Get No Satisfaction.
Yes.
Good way to flip the record.
Oh,
I say I don't.
Surprised
I
you-
don't. My things in my. I can't do it upside down on my frame.
I'm gonna have to because I'm the only one who has one available to flip over.
All right.
Oh, I guess so.
So this is
Flip
the
over December's Children.
Yeah. Pretend that's out of our heads for a little bit.
I mean, technically the cover is the UK
cover
one.
for that is the UK.
Yeah, it's the UK out of our heads.
Okay. But yeah, I Can't Get No Satisfaction. This is probably their signature song. It's probably the one that most people think of when they first are asked, okay, what's the first Rolling Stones song that comes to mind? Oh, yeah, I Can't Get No Satisfaction. That's a great song. And it's still a great song. Like, you got that great guitar riff from Keith Richards. But you got Mick Jagger going, I can't get no satisfaction.
Oh, no.
This is might be one of the more rocking tracks on the album. And like the last time, it's a great one to sing along to. Going, I can't get no, I can't get no. And then just sitting back, listen to it, and you forget how funny this song is. Even with the title, I can't get no satisfaction. The only reason he can't get no satisfaction is he's struggling to get a girl. That's pretty much the song.
Well, you think that's what it is, but then you listen, and then he's like, "Yeah, I can't get any satisfaction because I'm constantly bombarded by all this corporations telling me that if you buy my brand, my clothes are going to be whiter, and you're not a man because you don't smoke the same cigarettes as I do on this
Yeah.
commercial."
and that and that's not the right way to go about it either. So if that's the way you're trying to get girly action, then you can't get no satisfaction. but it's an awesome song. You know, I will say I do have a funny story. For the longest time, I did not know Mick Jagger said how white my shirts could be. For the longest time, I thought he said how white my church could be. That puts it a whole new meaning.
Oh,
How white my church could be.
oh boy.
Man comes on the radio telling me how white my church could be, but buddy, you can't be a man because it doesn't smoke.
Like smoking and going to church, it's like they don't really go well together. I knew that was confusing for the longest time. I was like, white my shirts. But now I love this song. It's one of my favorite Rolling Stones tracks.
Yeah, I can tell that some of these songs, before I get into kind of review of the song lyrically, a few of these songs on this album, you can tell that they're kind of getting fed up with the pressures of touring. This one and Spider and the Fly especially. This one is kind of about like getting bombarded with different like corporations telling you, oh, do this, buy that, and not being able to get a girl. And then Spider and the Fly, like talking about being out on the road touring and other girls like wanting to be with them. But I think that they're kind of throwing some personal things in there, especially with Under Assistant West Coast Promotional Man, which we'll get to in just a second. But I love the guitar riff on this one. This is one of the first guitar riffs to use the, I think it's called the tone bender pedal, which is one of the earliest examples of a fuzz pedal, which is why this guitar doesn't sound all squeaky clean. It sounds kind of fuzzy. And it's a funny story because Keith Richard, Jason's comment is talking about that. Down one.
Oh.
Keith Richards basically wrote the riff in his sleep. When he woke up, he played on the guitar, which is funny because he wanted it to be played by a horn section. But the Rolling Stones were kind of poor and couldn't afford a horn section. And this tone bender fuzz pedal, it's hilarious what it was marketed as. As I saw a demonstration, I found like an old demonstration record for it. They marketed it that you were able to make your guitar sound like a brass section or an orchestra, which is funny because that's not what it does at all. It just makes your guitar distorted, kind of like Jimi Hendrix would eventually go on to use. But I guess Keith Richards was trying to make his guitar sound like a brass section, and instead we got that amazing fuzzy tone on there. Bow, bow,
Also, if you want a good version of this song with horns, listen to the Otis Redding.
Otis Redding. Don't listen to the Devo version. It's garbage.
No,
garbage.
It's garbage.
It's got a notification.
I did a Jake Sings.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
It's probably garbage compared to the Stones. I was getting over
fun.
a cold when I recorded
But it's
it.
fun.
I just listened to the first minute of it. I think it's way better than the first like 10 seconds of the Devo version.
Okay. Well, that's a compliment, I guess.
I will say, I think that this song is at least a year ahead of its time. Like
Actually, well, the Kinks made "You Really Got Me," so it's not. If you're talking about the way that the guitar is,
no, it's not about just the distortion. It's just the whole sound of the song sounds like it would come from like at least 1966 rather than 65.
I get it. Yeah, if you want a song that's revolutionary, listen to You Got Me.
Oh yeah, that's a great song.
That's like 2 years before it's like ahead of
Oh,
its
way ahead of its time. That one. What was that? 1964.
1964. Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember me and Jason really liking that song when we reviewed it on the debut Kinks album.
Oh yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. You really got me. You really
The
got
song on
me.
the album is "Cry to Me." Actually, hold on, I gotta give my opinion on this song. I agree with you guys. The song's amazing. That's probably why I forgot to say something because I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. You guys pretty much summed it up pretty well. Next song on the album is "Cry to Me." Last cover on the album.
Yeah, I don't know the original version of "Cry to Me," but I thought this was a solid song. I don't think it stacks to the best songs on the album, but Mick Jagger sings it really well. There's a little bit of soul put into the song that I really like. I think Mick Jagger can do a little bit of R&B soul type stuff if he wanted to. I think this is better than some of the worst covers on the album, but it doesn't stack to the best song. This is probably the weakest song inside too, but still really good.
Yeah. It's all right. I like it, but when you got all these amazing originals on the rest of the side, it's like, oh yeah, there's a cover again.
I guess this would be another case where I think I like this song the best. I really enjoyed this song. I love the way Mick Jagger sings it. I love the part when he's like, "Come on, take my hand, walk with me." Like the way he sings it, "Walk with me." Like this was definitely a soul cover because I could definitely hear soul in it. It sounds like an R&B song for sure. This just barely didn't make my top 5 actually. I love this song. I'd say the last song on this album is probably the weakest on the side too. Next song on the album is Jacob's Name, the under-assistant West Coast promotion band.
Oh man, this song is awesome. This one is probably the bluesiest song on the album, so probably not going to be Jason's favorite.
But it's not long.
It's not that long, but I love the sharp sense of humor that it does have. It's
hilarious.
telling the story of this promotion man who goes to L.A. in his Corvette and his seersucker suit, and he's going around bragging that he is the sole genius behind all these rock and roll bands. I wonder if this song is a kind of like a stab at their manager at the time. They had like an infamous manager who was trying to get people to beat up blind men to buy their albums.
Yeah. It's so funny because listen to what it says on the back of the album that's written by their manager about this song.
Let's see what
They said it's their Stones' own tribute to the backroom boys of the music business. A tribute to. No, this is
it's a tribute.
This is a diss track.
This is definitely a diss track. I don't think it's a tribute. This is a clear on spoof of some of these higher ups in the music industry. And I think it's pretty funny. Like talking about the toupee on his head.
Yeah, I think everyone laughs at his toupee.
I have a toupee that he thinks makes him look good, and he's like the sole force behind the band. He's like, "Oh, I make all this money, but I'm just sitting here on the bench here."
I'm the necessary talent behind every rock and roll band.
Yeah, the use of harmonica on this song is great too. It's such an awesome deep cut.
I love the guitar riff too. The bow 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 bow. This is another one of my favorite songs on the album. Jacob summed it up perfectly. Like it's just a diss track of like the higher ups, and I wonder if it was written about their manager because that would be hilarious.
And he completely missed it.
He missed the point. Like, oh, it's a tribute.
Could have been like the Queen song "Death on Two Legs" with the dedicated to.
Tearing me apart.
That is definitely a diss track.
That is like the ultimate diss track.
Yeah.
You're
Uh,
a sewer rat in a gross cesspool. God,
you know what? One thing I will say, I agree with Jeremy on this, is that this does sound like a Bob Dylan song.
it kind of does with the harmonica and the long goofy title.
Imagine
Yeah, it sounds
Bob
like
Dylan.
something.
I don't think Bob Dylan would do the song here as well, though.
No,
Oh yeah,
I'm
sitting on the corner, wondering how sharp I am.
Oh, I got a cool man and a seersucker suit.
I feel like Mick Jagger really sells it when he does it though.
See your second suit. It's a great song. This is one of my favorites on the album. I wouldn't say it's the bluesiest. There is a song though that is very bluesy. I wouldn't call this the bluesiest. It is bluesy.
Oh yeah,
Oh
there's
yeah,
a
we got that one too.
the bluesy. We'll say the bluesiest one up to this point in the
Yeah.
album.
Sure. This is like the first like real bluesy song on the album.
They've kind of been going more R&B and pop directions up to this point.
Yeah, I feel like them doing R&B is a lot better than when the Beatles do it. Still killing
Yeah,
stuff.
it's like the Stones were kind of made for blues and R&B, and then when the Beatles do it, it's like, come on, guys, you're more of a pop band.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did
It's like
not
if-
do a good job
actually-
on Money. That's what I want. That's for sure.
No,
I mean, I personally like it, but I guess it goes both ways too. Because when the Beatles do R&B and blues, you don't like it, and when the Stones do heavy pop music, you don't like it either with the Cosmic Christmas. So
oh
it
yeah,
goes both ways, really.
yeah, that's weird. It's like each of them have the things they're good at. The Beatles are good at experimental pop, and the Stones are good at blues based R&B rock.
Zeppelin's great at both.
Yeah.
As evidenced by Zeppelin 4.
Oh, just you wait for the next. Oh, man, I want to. I
Oh,
wonder if we could listen to Houses of the Holy on a stream sometime, because I want to hear your reaction to that one.
I'll have to do that sometime.
Yes. This album is too bluesy for me.
It's only like 2 real bluesy songs on this album, I would say.
I think Jason, I think you heard the UK version, right, without the singles on it, if I'm correct. Because I remember asking you if you listened to the UK or the US albums, and I think you said you listened to the UK albums.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great song, though. I love this song. And the funny thing is that this is the US B side to Satisfaction, so you get like 3. You get-
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
wow.
Perfect.
Good B-side. Great B-side.
That's so funny. I wonder if they can't get no satisfaction because the manager.
The manager doesn't get their diss track.
Like the manager's making all the money.
Yeah, what do you guys
yeah,
listen
we listened to the US version.
Along with
Yeah,
this cover.
Yeah, hold on.
The one thing I will give the UK version is it's got Heart of Stone, but it doesn't really fit out of our heads.
Yeah, it fits the Rolling Stones now, but
Yeah.
it doesn't really fit
Was
this
this the
album.
cover? Was this the album cover, Jason? When you
Or
listened
was
to
it this one?
If it was this one, then you listen to the UK version. If it was the one that we've been talking about, this is the US version. Well, Jason's about to answer us. The next song on the album is "Play with Fire."
Oh man,
Yes.
I love this song. It's very simple, very laid back. It's a very acoustic song. I think baroque, I guess, is the right word to describe this
Very.
song. There's a harpsichord on it, so it sounds
Yeah.
almost ancient at times. It's a really cool song. I think Mick Jagger is the only one who actually sings on this one. But it's a really lovely track, and I love the I think the hook. Oh, with me, I play with fire. This is, I think, out of all the deep cuts on this album, this one has to be my favorite. So it kind of spoiled where it kind of falls on my ranking because it's really high up there on my favorite songs on the album.
So this is kind of the start of one of the things that I really like that the Stones do, and that's kind of like this, and then some of the stuff they do on Aftermath in between the buttons, where you get that little hint of baroque, but it's like kind of the Stones version of psychedelic Baroque pop. And I love it. It starts out with just Mick Jagger and the acoustic guitar, but then Brian Jones comes in with the harpsichord. They'll follow up with this song with As Tears Go By on the next album, but then you get other stuff like Lady Jane and Ruby Tuesday and stuff like that, which are all songs that I really like that have kind of a similar vein to it. But this song is insanely good. It is amazing and one of my favorites on the album.
I agree. This is easily one of the best songs on the album. I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for Baroque pop songs. So yeah, this is a amazing song. I've listened to
Yeah,
both of my reviews. I just reviewed the UK versions. Okay, so the UK version doesn't have the Satisfaction song on it.
No.
The UK version. So okay? So before we continue, what's interesting is that normally, well, not normally, but for the US Beatles albums, for the most part, it's butchered from the UK versions. It's the opposite here. In the US, this was the original version, but then in the UK,
yeah, because this album was recorded in Chicago and or where was it? It says on the back where it was recorded at. This album was recorded in Chicago and Hollywood.
and when they went to go put it back into when they were to release it in the UK version, the Stones they chose to remove all the singles in favor of deep cuts that would be on this album. December
Which
6th.
also has the same cover.
And funny enough, they end up using a hit single, "Heart of Stone."
Yeah, that's really weird that they put a single on one of their albums in the UK.
And I agree, that song does not belong on Out of Our Heads.
No, it's a Now track.
It belongs on Rolling Stones Now.
I love that song though. It's really great.
It's the best song.
I had that song in my head this morning.
Yeah, I love Play with Fire. Like I said, I'm a sucker for Baroque pop songs. I guess to me, Jacob, all the songs sound bluesy.
That's all right. It's all right. All right. All right.
All right.
Next song on the album is their bluesiest song on the album, and that is "The Spider and the Fly."
Yeah, I love this song. This is another great song on the album. I love it I think when they did the covers of blues songs, they were hit and miss. This is a Mick Jagger, Keith Richards original, and that makes all the difference. Them doing their own material based on the blues structure, I think is absolutely fantastic. The guitar riff is great. There's some harmonica on here that's pretty cool. Like Mick Jagger sells the genre so well. And there's just some memorable lyrics here, like the analogy of the spider and the fly, I thought was interesting. And then there's that line we like mentioning, "Dirty and flirty, it looks about 30." I'm like, that's like, you can't forget a lyric like that in a song like this. This song is so good.
This is why I hate the original review of Jeremy on Scott's channel. He's like, I pay attention to lyrics. Also him, this song sucks. You know, he contradicts himself on that.
This song has really grown on me more times I've listened to this album. It might be one of my favorites now on the album. But the guitar playing is really great from Keith Richards. And, of course, Mick Jagger on the vocals really sells it. He's kind of singing with that kind of sly voice like he's a spider. Like, the line that Jacob was talking about is really funny. I think this probably is one of the best songs on the album.
I also love the lyric when she said, my, don't tell lies, keep fidelity in your head. And like, my, don't tell me lies. It's like so such a good song. And
Don't say hi like a spider to a fly.
This is another Bob Dylan-esque track, and it's amazing. Last song on the album, One More Try.
All right. I think, personally, I kind of wish The Spider and the Fly was the closer.
Me too.
But with that said, I think this is still a good song. It is catchy. I do like Mick Jagger's delivery on the song. You can make it, give me one more try. It, it's not my favorite on the album, but it's short and sweet. Does what it needs to do in less than 2 minutes. I don't think it's a standout album closer. Like I said, I wish Fire and the Fly closed this album, but it's still a pretty catchy song.
It's all right. I feel like it would have been a lot better if they would have just scratched the falsetto backing vocals because they're a little flat. The one that goes, one more try. But they're like, one more try. They're a little slightly flat. But this is probably my least favorite of the original songs on the album. I agree with Jacob. We needed a different closer. Either The Spider or the Fly or Play with Fire would have been perfect as an album closer for this album. But still, it's an alright song. It is lots of other better stuff to work with here on the album.
I actually quite like the song, but I will say this is the weakest song of the originals, and I'd say it's the weakest song on side 2 for sure.
Yeah.
I agree with you guys on that, on the original aspect. Yeah, really, really good song still. Very catchy. Like you guys said, gets the job. Well, as Jacob said, gets the job done. What is your guys' top 5?
Top 5. All right. Number 5, The Under Assistant West Coast Promotion Man. Number 4, The Spider and the Fly. Number 3, The Last Time. Number 2, Play with Fire. And number 1, I Can't Get No Satisfaction. Then the 2 that were close to making my top 5 were That's How Strong My Love Is and Mercy Mercy. They were honorable mentions.
My number 5 is going to be That's How Strong My Love Is. Number 4 is The Spider and the Fly. Number 3 is The Under Assistant West Coast Promotion Man. Number 2 is Play with Fire. And number 1 is I Can't Get No Satisfaction.
Yeah, I got all 5 originals on my list. Number 5, Spider and the Fly. Number 4, I Can't Get No Satisfaction. Number 3, Last Time. My number 1 and my number 2 go back and forth constantly. As of now, my number 2 is Play with Fire, and my favorite song on the album is The Under Assistant West Coast Promotion Man. And it's funny, too, is that in the UK, The Spider and the Fly was the UK B-side to I Can't Get No Satisfaction. So, yeah, both really good B-sides from what we could both agree on. All 3 of us could agree on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Number 1, Can't Get No Satisfaction.
And I will say I have one dishonorable mention, and that's It's All Right. That one's not good.
I just have an honorable mention. I don't think there's any bad songs, or I think they're all great. I'm just gonna say Good Times is like my honorable mention.
Yeah, that's a good honorable mention. Good Times and Mercy Mercy. Those are my honorable mentions.
I guess if I had a second one, would be Cry to Me. What would your album score be?
All right. Much like the Rolling Stones now, I'll be giving this album a 9 out of 10. I do think this album is a little better than now. This one you start to feel what makes the Rolling Stones on this album. I like that there's more original songs on this album than we've had in the past. I think some of the covers are still the weakest songs on the album. That's why I couldn't give it a full 10, because some of the covers on this album are pretty weak, I'm not going to lie.
I'm sorry you didn't give it a 9.25 out of 10.
But, 9 out of 10, still a great score. I love the original songs on this album. You Can't Get No Satisfaction, The Last Time. The 2 singles are great. And the best deep cuts, are what helped propel that high score the last time.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying it was a low score. I was a little surprised.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 for me.
So I'm gonna score this a 3 out of 10.
Oh
no, it's an 8.75 out of 10. I really like this album.
Okay, that's a lot higher than the first album. I'm giving it a full on 10 out of 10. This full album is amazing. This is the first time I'm giving it a 10 out of 10.
This won't be the last time This won't be the last.
Yes, this is not going to be the last time. I'm gonna spoil it now. The next album isn't gonna get a 10 out of 10 because they used 2 live tracks, and that on that album it really brings it down. But I hope I didn't ruin that anticipation. But the originals are getting better though on the next album. But stay tuned, guys, because the next album we're reviewing is December Children and Everything Else, or just and everybody's. Guys, have anything you want to add or mention before we close out stream?
Hey, you get off of my cloud. I'm
Yeah,
excited to talk about that song.
I think Scott said it best. That's a great song, and I'm excited to review the album with that amazing song on it.
That, and if you've never heard As Tears Go By, get ready because it's like even better than Play with Fire.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
All you guys say is thank you guys for watching this video, and see you guys on the next one. And I'll see you, Jason, on the end of stream party.